Hello everybody and welcome back to Very Biased Opinions. It's time to talk about the final game in this League One season. It is the playoff final. It is Sunderland versus Wycombe Wanderers. Will it be the Black Cats ending their 4-year purgatory at this level? Or will it be the Chairboys getting back into the Championship and making it 2 playoff successes in the last 3 years? And boy, does that last playoff success still hurt hard. Both sides came from very tough semi-finals. Wycombe was a backs-to-the-wall job in that second leg against MK Dons. They were under siege for much of the game, but they found a way to hold out in typical Wycombe style. A lot of grit, a lot of determination, a lot of good defending, a lot of good goalkeeping, and they have really upset the apple cart again. Real underdogs. A lot of people thought MK Dons would come through that one, but it is the Chairboys getting back to Wembley. And they are going to be dwarfed in fan base, in size, in media coverage by Sunderland. It's nothing they don't already know. Sunderland came through with a 2-1 aggregate win against Sheffield Wednesday. It was a tough game at Hillsborough, but just like what we've seen with Alex Neil's side, they find a way to get the job done. So it's a case of one more dragon to slay for the Black Cats, but I could not think of a tougher opponent to really face at Wembley. Wycombe Wanderers will not care a jot about the size of Sunderland's fan base, about the media coverage, about being a massive underdog, which they are quite a sizable underdog if you look at the bookies. They won't care about anything, and the theme of this video will just be, do not underestimate Wycombe. I don't think there's any squad of players, certainly in League One, which marches to the sound of a manager's drum. There almost are like rats being led by the Pied Piper with Ainsworth in charge. He has got them so well organised, so well drilled as a team. And yeah, with Wycombe, you talk about style of play, and I harp on about this a lot because there's a lot of Oxford fans in particular, but other fans as well, that get very annoyed with the way Wycombe Wanderers play. It works for them. It pisses people off. Why would you ever change it? I don't think they're such a bad footballing side either. They are effective in the areas they need to be effective in, and they play football when they need to play football, and they rely on getting a game played on their terms, dragging a game down to their level, and just making it a very, very bit of a slog of a game. With their 4-2-3-1, they have such a sturdy back line with those 2 midfielders, whoever they choose in there, just screening everything as well. You've got Taffazoli and Stewart, who are 2 stalwart centre-backs in there. Stewart has been the bane of Oxford United's existence for a few years now. Wonderful defender. 2 good fullbacks in Jacobson, particularly Jacobson and McCarthy. Jacobson's delivery from set pieces can be lethal as well. And if you get through all of that, you then have Stockdale, who's one of the best goalkeepers in the league, who will just produce wonder save after wonder save. So it isn't going to be easy. And then going forward, they've got the likes of Obita and McCleary, who can get them up the field. Vokes is the target man, links all the play together. Not a particularly easy side to play against. But Sunderland are a different animal themselves, and I think that win against Sheffield Wednesday in the semi-final really shows how far this side has come in a short space of time under Alex Neil. Sunderland and Wycombe had some weird game. Well, I mean, Sunderland won the first one earlier on in the season, 3-1 at the Stadium of Light. At Adams Park, it was like a game of the season level 3-3 draw. But this was all before Neil took over, so I don't expect this game on Saturday to be anything like that whatsoever. And yeah, he's really, in a way, sort of like he's the manager you needed. He's taken a lot of the style and the flair away, but he's certainly made you more functional, and certainly, above all else, made you a bit of a winning machine. Sunderland have been so good at staying in games and winning them late. It is unreal. It has been the difference between them having a season of anger and misery to having genuine hope and expectation that they can get back into the Championship. Play 3-5-2, I'd imagine. I can't imagine anything different, with 3 good centre-backs in there, in Kirking, Bath and Wright, and you've got the likes of Gooch and Clark, who did a very good job of getting the width and getting Sunderland up the pitch in both legs of that playoff. Luke O'Nien, such an experienced player in there with Evans, Pritchard pulling the strings. There may be changes up front, though. You've got Ross Stewart, I imagine, almost certainly will play with all the goals he scored this season. But Patrick Roberts, although he did get the winner, historic winner at Hillsborough, he could make way for Broadhead in this one. Broadhead, much highly talented player. Sunderland fans really rate him highly. Could come back in, wasn't really played much because of injury in the semi-final. But you know, if they have got him fit, he could really be the difference maker in this one. But I want to go back to that semi-final, because that semi-final really showed me almost where Sunderland have changed under Neil. When you went to 1-1, that second half at Hillsborough was tough. It was really, really as tough as it gets, really, I think, in this league. Sheffield Wednesday were piling on the pressure. They got the goal. Hillsborough was bouncing. Sunderland could have very easily caved at that moment. And I'll dare to say in previous years, you probably would have done. But this year they weathered it. This year they rose to it. And this year they came back and they got the goal. And they went on to win it. And that shows a massive difference. And I think that mentality is going to hold them in good stead in this game, because Wycombe is going to be a tough test, and that's why I think it isn't going to be a particularly exciting match. And I think that's my overriding thought going into this one, is it will be like a one to watch, but don't expect this one to be like a back and forth basketball game, which playoffs games can be like, which we've seen in some of the Championship ones recently. I expect this one to be very much about two sides cancelling each other out, two sides kind of making sure they have a foothold in the game, two sides almost going out, making sure first and foremost you don't lose it before you try and win it. And I think that the nerves will be there at the occasion, and obviously the Sunderland fans will be there in full force. Wycombe fans taking 20,000 as well. High Wycombe is not a big town compared to Sunderland, so 20,000 is a good effort for them. Sunderland are obviously dwarf them in numbers, so there will be a really good atmosphere. But I will get to my prediction. I know I've been stalling for time. Oh, one quick thing, didn't talk about Akinfenwa. Well, right, let's not talk about him, because even when he doesn't play, he makes it all about himself, and I've never really rated the guy. Next, I think Sunderland will score first in this game. I think that they'll score in the first half. I think Wycombe will peg them back in the second half. It will be extremely painful to watch. But here's what you've all been waiting to hear, Sunderland fans. I think you will win it. Typical Alex Neil style. I think in that last 10 minutes of the game, Sunderland find that winning goal. They go on to win it 2-1, and you can finally shed behind the likes of scummy Oxford United, scummy Wycombe Wanderers, and scummy every other team in League One, and go and play in the Championship, which, even probably by your high standards, is a league below where you think you should be. For anybody going to this game, I'm going to say enjoy it, but I don't think enjoy it is quite the right word. It's going to be nervy, and especially to Sunderland fans out there, I won't say you'll only enjoy the day if you win. So go, cheer your team on, roar your team on. If they win, then it's the greatest feeling in the world. If you lose, it is the worst way to lose a game. But as again, the overriding thing is, do not underestimate Wycombe Wanderers. 2 years ago, Oxford beat Portsmouth in a very bruising playoff semi-final. We played Wycombe in the final, and we thought we are going to win. We almost, from an Oxford fan point of view, felt we had 1 foot in the final. We thought we were the better team than Wycombe. We thought we would turn up and win quite comfortably at Wembley in that one, but we didn't. Wycombe beat us, and we're still in League One. But that was a empty Wembley Stadium ground. The fans could make a massive difference in this one, and that should make it a very good spectacle to watch. But those are my thoughts on the game, and let me know down below your comments. Let me know if you're going. Let me know if what I just said is absolute rubbish. And hit like, hit subscribe and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, I'm an Oxford United fan. I'm a neutral, so I don't really care.